Rebecca, I feel like that these units look pretty dope. You can also check the skill animations. Let's go in there first. Skill animation checking. Looks okay. Looks okay. That one's pretty nice. Megan looks pretty dope, not gonna lie, but I do like the animation of the toad. It looks really poisonous. And now we have a bird flying at your face. Jealousy. Same as before. Curse. Right, single target. We will read the skills in a second. So this skill looks really cool, and this is the skill that's being, in my opinion, quite overhyped, which I will talk a bit more about later. So, okay, and then we have this one. Little bit too thorny for me, but this one is pretty dope that this one goes AoE right now. Okay, so let's look at the skills. So all of them have this S1 thing that increases a little bit in damage. And this is just a pretty much an S2 that Nana has, more or less. Okay, then this one is remove harmful effects on all allies and heals the more harmful effects are there. Wouldn't necessarily say that it's anything great, this whole unit. So I would rate this unit, let's say, usability like a 3 out of 10. Then Megan, well, Megan barely changed. They only made this 2 turns, which is slightly better against Hellfest than it used to be. And they made this one 2 turns, which is slightly better against I have no clue what. And then the S3 is exactly the same, but it can become 22% attack power increase. With better base stats. And then rest is all same, it looks better. Megan is still Megan. Barely anything changed. So let's say Megan was a 7 out of 10 before, then Megan would be a 7.2 out of 10 right now. It's really, literally almost no change. Cilia. Then this one is actually slightly different because it has a chance of stripping for 30% chance. That's, I don't know. 30% chance to strip on an S2 is too little. So this one has remove 1 beneficial effect with it will be 100% chance. And then, so this one is armor break and strip, but only on 1 beneficial effect. I feel like this unit is actually not bad. Still, if there's multiple things, blah, 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 it's annoying, but I feel like it's not too bad. And then this thing is also remove beneficial effects, and if like damage, disrupt early, and beneficial effects. So this one is actually not that bad. Base speed is somewhat low, true, but I'm not sure if the damage multipliers on these are somewhat okay-ish. She can be used for a bruiser that is fucking up like Wusas, more or less, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. I feel like she's not that bad, but I would give her like a... I wouldn't use her as a pure stripper, I would use her as a bruiser. And she has strip and armor break for 2 turns, whereas Gemini is just 1 turn, if I'm not mistaken. Gemini does have speed lead, that is true. But this thing also has the block beneficial and a dot then here. Well, actually, all 3 skills strip. So, well, Gemini kind of same, as long as he has no buffs. This one you can have buffs. So, I would rate Cilia, let's say, a 7.5 out of 10, maybe an 8 out of 10. I feel like she's one of the more interesting ones. Like, if you don't have already net 5 options that do something similar, I feel like Cilia is a pretty good option to fuck up people with a lot of immunity. So that's if you lack immunity, or if you lack strips, I feel like Cilia is one of your better options. Then we have Linda. Linda has a very high base attack. 8? Yeah, but well, maybe 8 is a bit high. I would say 7. 7.5 if you don't have any other units that already do the same thing. Maybe I'm a little bit generous, but 7.5 if you don't already have units that do the same thing. If you already have units that do the same thing and do it better, she becomes like a 5. Then we have Linda. I feel like Linda's overrated. Like, first of all, I feel like Linda is highly overrated. Sure, she's going to do a lot of damage on the S3, but it is all enemies 3 to 4 times, so it's inconsistent there. All of the debuffs she lands is inconsistent. Then she doesn't have silence, she doesn't have armor break, she doesn't have, I don't know. And then you could say like, yeah, you can use this to counter Nanas. I use Grogan to counter Nanas, of course LD5, haha. But he's barely on the edge of actually killing shit. This thing, if it hits 3 times, is not going to fucking kill shit. If you're fighting like a tanky Nana, this Comet Summon is not going to kill anything. Base speed is somewhat on the low side. So I feel like she could be okay as a nuker, but it doesn't make any sense for her to put debuffs if she is trying to nuke shit and then it doesn't kill. Then the anti-revive is not there, but there's debuffs there. It's like, the whole kit doesn't make too much sense. It sounds really fun, it sounds really cool, but I feel like she's pretty overrated, and I feel like she's going to lack damage to actually kill shit. So therefore, the anti-revive is not going to be a big thing. I also feel like that the debuffs she does land are lackluster because the most important debuffs that, for example, Neftis has are not there. There's no silence, there's no armor break, mainly no armor break, what the fuck. So yeah, I feel like this is not the craziest of units out there. It does, however, have armor break into S3 by itself. So it does have jealousy. And so you have armor break into damage itself. But the moment you put like a few immunity units against this, let's say RTA, that kind of stuff, I feel like it's very easy to handle that. Yeah, I don't know. You could place it next to a unit that does extra damage based on, what's it called? Extra damage based on more dot or debuffs and shit like that, but I don't know. I don't know. Would she work in RTA? She could work in RTA, but I feel like she's quite squishy for RTA. So in RTA, she has a lot of setup and she's really squishy, so I don't think so. In Arena, I feel like she could work as your damage dealer, but you might as well just pick a Kaki, which is, in hindsight, probably a better damage dealer. So, I don't know. With Asima. Asima does provide dots. It doesn't do more damage for dots, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like she's kind of overrated. Unless you have no AoE damage dealer whatsoever, then yeah, she could be a pretty good damage dealer. So I would rate her like probably 6 out of 10 because there's so many damage dealers that probably do the same thing. Whereas what Celia does, there's not too many free-to-play units that do like this kind of like stripping like she does. Then we have this one, which as one is the same. This one is an AoE strip of 1 beneficial effect. Why do you strip 1 beneficial effect? That's so lame. Does this one also strip 1? Yeah, just 1. Why do they strip 1? That's so lame. And then this time is hitting 4 times continuous damage and then sleep for the last hit. But the sleep is 80%. Why are we having a sleep that's 80%? If this sleep was 100%, I would say like Gina is a pretty good unit. With a sleep being 80%, I feel like the unit is shit. So, yeah. There is a multiple hit of 4. So she's kind of like a combination of Thrain together with like a stripper. So, I feel like she's not bad. So, in case... I feel like she would be pretty good in Net 4 Siege, actually. Yeah, so... I feel like with Gina, if you... Let's say you go Gina and Thrain together, then... If they don't have any will, you just do S3. If they don't have will, you just go S2. Or if they do have will, you go S2. If they don't have will, you go S3. Okay. That's... I feel like she can be used. I would say like 7.5 to 8 out of 10. I feel like she actually has pretty good value. Because this thing you're not really going to use in Net 4 Siege. You're not going to use this against Kinky. You're not going to use this against... Ayunus maybe, I don't know. Yeah, but you first do the dot and then you sleep. So, I don't know. What do you think about Megan? Megan, if Megan was a 7 before, she becomes a 7.1. Like, barely anything changed. So, then we have these units. Which I think look cooler when they had the sword, like, as backhand rather than, like, fronthand. So, that's... In the art style, we had it like as a backhand sword. Currently, it's looking like a fronthand sword. Backhand sword look better. Way better. Well, let's look at the skills. We go for Jubel. That's just a simple armor break. Skill looks cool. I like this skill, like the taunting strike. Looks pretty dope. We're just gonna look at skills first, and then we're actually going to read all of the skills. So same thing over there. We got a battle cry over here, a cry challenge, immunity, that kind of jazz. Okay. It looks pretty cool, looks pretty cool. Mr. Passive one. I feel like this one has a lot of potential. And then we have the Darien one. Darien. And also this. Okay. So let's look at the skills. Starting with the fire one first. Cayenne. Isn't that like a reference to like Superman or something? I don't know. So the S1 turn to arm break. Okay. This thing is recovered by 20% of your damage dealt. Okay. And then Cry of Challenge provokes for 1 turn, increase your defense, and then grants immunity. I don't really feel this unit. It feels somewhat. Maybe you want to do this in arena defense against Lucians, but to be honest, there is so much stuff that already counters Lucian in defense. Superman is Kai L. Ah, yeah, is it close enough? Close enough. Then we have Alan. Okay, wait, is this Alan from The Hangover? That guy that fucks up and roofies everyone? That's Alan, right? Okay, so we have S1, that's the same thing, but can provoke on the S1 as well with 30% chance, kind of low. Then this one provokes for 1 turn. Not great. And then this thing, Strong Will. I don't know. This one I don't really feel like. Maybe if you really need a wind tank, where you would use Rena and that kind of shit, you can use this. This thing, this is 3 turns. That's actually not bad. Siege offense? Yeah, siege offense, I can see Mr. Carl N being used. Yeah, siege offense is actually not bad. I was thinking too much RTA, but siege offense, this is not bad. Siege offense against some like specifically water or wind units could work. Then we have Royd. I think Royd has one of the more potentials from like all of them. Also has the highest HP as in base, which is pretty important because they all stack with HP from base. Does he also mean that he has the lowest defense? He does have the lowest defense, yeah. So we have S1 armor break, same as all. If he does land the armor break, he will go for an additional turn. And he will go for attack power. Not mistaken? Yeah. And then this one, if he doesn't land the armor break, he's going for provoke. Which I feel like is a pretty strong overall bruiser. But yeah, that's I feel like Royd would be like the highest or one of the higher potentials from the Vegabonds. Then we have Darien. Darien has the standard S1. The S2 is pretty much the same as used to be. Wait, absorb attack bar for 10% with a 70% chance. 10% attack bar absorb is the same as nothing. I don't know. That's... It depends whether a unit had defense break before hitting the target. Ah, okay. That's interesting. Are Royd's passives... I don't know. Anyone knows? Royd passive on Revenges, does that work? Decrease the damage that and increase the damage you receive by 15. So it's more or less what I'm feeling like is a semi Huadam on this unit, because it used to be 20 and currently it's 30. Only on his turn. Oh yeah, probably it writes only on his turn. No, it doesn't write. Most of the time they write it with only on his turn, but okay, that's too bad. Most of the time it says if you take... Oh yeah, on your turn and on your turn. So yeah, passive is only on your turn. So that makes it a little bit worse. But still, Revenge on these units is pretty nice because Armor Break is 1. And now we have Jabil. Jabil is same as 1. S2 is a Provoke. But if you get hit by something that while being provoked, you provoke another turn. Which is pretty nice, I would say. So you can actually start stacking like provoke on provoke. Same thing that, for example, Rakan does. The only difference is that this thing also lowers your chance of getting crit. And if you don't get crit, you get 30% attack bar. So I feel like Jabil is probably one of the better units out there. He also has a higher base speed. He does, however, also have the lowest HP, but he has the highest defense amongst them, or one of the higher defenses. So I think in order of most usable, I would say Royd and Jubil are the highest one, that are like the best usable of like for RTA, maybe RTA and Siege. Then I feel like Darien is maybe arena defense, but that's about it. I feel like Cayenne and Allen are like more Siege offense. So that's what I think about these units. They have some potential. They definitely do have some potential. So yeah, that's that for that. But I feel like Jubil is my choice for making the first 2A. So that's what I think. And that's also then the one that I'm making into 2A. So that's that for that video. Huh.